Hello. Let me turn this off for a second. 12 midday. And I just woke up and I got over 300 views on my last video. The Texan PL360. And then I got a good lot of views on the video where I done 2 sessions with this. But not so much when I do sessions with these, possibly because it's got a reputation for being very noisy. But I assure you, I do not use this unless I have it on quiet mode, on magnitude mode, and maybe just the thought of people seeing the PSP7 and going, oh God, no. But YouTube congratulated me. My views are up. They're up 179%, which is brilliant. But thank you very much. At the end of the day, people need to remember that the star of the show is the paranormal activity, or the ITC, what's communicating. It's important that we remember what's important here. At the end of the day, I do things rough and ready. I don't have fancy intros and outros and stuff like that. Not because I'm lazy. YouTube's not as important to me as the paranormal. And these sessions, no matter how small the contact, if we possibly have contact, that is a special thing. But over time, we've seen paranormal investigators. They start off with good intentions, and then see the opportunity, for attention, and to be some sort of YouTube star, plus making money. And that's where paranormal investigators trip and fall, because they're replacing paranormal activity and what was important, and focus on something else. Using the paranormal in some way to provide entertainment, and because there isn't as much activity as people make out on the television, they start making stuff up, and that's when you fall into the entertaining industry and stuff like that. And it is sad, but the reason I do these sessions, sometimes they're repetitive. People don't want to watch, loads and loads of sessions. But I don't know what's happened this time around. Early indications is that it's coming from outside of YouTube. And, thank you very much for sharing the videos and that. I'm doing this in a kind of a simple way because I want to show people that, it's not us that are important. It's the paranormal activity. It's the communicators that we like to call them, because we don't know if they're spirits or ghosts. They say they're spirits or ghosts, but we don't know. You know, an example of this. An example is of this is Steve Huff. You know, I'm not going to go into all of this. But he did start out like a lot of us. You know, had a number of different boxes, spur boxes, spur hacked radio boxes, and you know, all was good. And then he started manipulating what he was doing to make money, and most of all fame, because he puts out there that he's got the best contact, he's got the best equipment, he's got the best recordings, he's got the best recorder, and he calls what we do here old school. It's called, all the hacked radios, he calls it old school because this amplifier with pedals set up, he's putting out there as changing the game. This is the step forward in that. Yet, he has a Pana box, which is a little Panasonic little box. And that little box are like hen's teeth to find. It's very, very difficult to find them. But they're the same size and shape of a Panasonic DR60, but it's a radio. But he doesn't have time for any of these, but he has time for the little Pana box, quite possibly because he's got lots to sell, you know. But yeah, you know, this is the reason I do this is I accidentally came across an EVP while doing abandoned exploring it. Before that, I had a brief sort of encounter with old-fashioned ITC from school, and I made a radio which didn't have any stations on it because between myself and my science teacher we ripped the coils out so that there was no radio coming in. Back then we didn't want radio, and a lot of the older researchers still refused to work with human voice, you know, because of the possibility of pareidolia, which is a bit of a problem with these boxes. I have to say, pareidolia is one of those things. But when you use a box and you get a possible response, what you do here is you listen to the rhythm. You know, you turn it on for a little while before, you know, and listen to where the stations kick in, the little snippets, and listen for that rhythm. And every so often, sometimes that rhythm is disturbed by a longer voice than normally is coming out of the radio. And very often that voice comes in behind the radio station that's coming in. The radio station that's coming in would have a very short 1 or 2 seconds of sort of audio coming in before they're clicked out to the forward scan. But the voice behind sometimes is elongated. The word sometimes is kind of stretched and slowed down and lengthened in the background of that little snippet going past. That's the best way I can explain it, you know. There's other times where you ask a question and something comes up on the radio and it actually fits the question. But sometimes I disregard them because or I have questions around them because they sound and seem the same length and the same tone as the rest of the radio coming in. Sometimes when you get these possible responses coming through, the tone is a little bit deeper and longer and slower. Sometimes that happens. So that's how we sort of look for our possible communications. That's, it takes a while to sort of tune your ears to it. Now, a lot of people can hear stuff in real time, even on a sort of a low tone. I can't unless it's pretty clear. So it is important every time that you do a spirit box session, whether you're just messing about, to record it. It doesn't have to be on camera. You could record it on your recorder, as long as you record it, because time after time, when I have turned on a spirit box to mess about, you have a spirit box near you and say, haven't tried this box for a while, let's turn it on a little bit. And next thing, you get some responses, you get some swear words, and you're not recording. And that's what's happened to me over and over again, just from picking up a box, turning it on, just to hear it, just to mess about, no recording. And next thing, there's swear words coming out, there's all sorts of stuff coming out, and you're there and you go, I haven't recorded it, So the reason why I sort of decided to talk to you today is in YouTube, people are looking for scary content. That's the way it seems to go with paranormal investigating some of the time. It's people watch to be on the edge of their seats. But it's not like that. You go out to an investigation, you do a long investigation, and you get one piece of activity, you get one orb, one light anomaly that's travelling in a strange direction, or you get a strange EVP that's relevant to something what you just said while conducting a spirit box session, or something like that. That is big as far as paranormal activity is concerned, but those thrill seekers consider it not very important at all and not exciting enough. That is the sad part of Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. But to me, Facebook and YouTube isn't as important as what's coming out of our ITC, what we can learn. I've loads of books there. I struggle. I've a bit of dyslexia, and I did buy loads of books, and I'm reading bits and pieces, sort of thing. I love this. I love the paranormal above YouTube. If YouTube became a priority over the paranormal, I would stop doing this because my focus is then shifted, But anyway, that's my little rant over. I just wanted to sort of just wanted to talk about that, just wanted to talk about that. The important thing is, you have people watching and say, oh, you're doing a great job. We are just the messengers. We give the information to you, and that's what we have to, as paranormal investigators, as ITC researchers and that, we have to keep in check, because egos can get very, very big, you know. We are dealing with something that we don't understand, yet we're getting information from a source that we don't understand. We deliver it to the viewer. What's the important part there? It's the communicators. The spirits, people call spirits, entities. That's the important thing about all of this. It's not me. It's not the person owning a YouTube channel that has loads and loads of subscribers. It is not them. It's this other world that we don't understand, and very often all we can do is throw theories at it. You know? Right, let's say what's on my mind. What's on my mind when I do a session? Does the spirit activity come around the radio? I ask about that all the time. Are you here? Where are you? Are they communicating that they're coming around us? Sometimes when I do a session, right? When I do a session, I don't hear anybody talking about this, but I get pins and needles on my hands, my feet, and my face, which I don't normally get in my everyday life. Do you know? Yes, those kind of symptoms can come up with some illnesses, but it doesn't happen to me in everyday life. About 1 out of sort of 8, 10, this happens. And when that happens, I feel that maybe that there's some sort of energy that's coming into the area to communicate. But all I can do is throw the theory out. I don't understand the static feeling in the hands and the face and the feet. I haven't heard of anybody very much talking about it. They'll say, oh, I feel your energy around and that. But I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's related to well, it happens an odd time on spirit box sessions. So I'm sort of thinking maybe it's the spirit energy coming around us. The other theory may be that the spirits are on a different level to us. They're in a different dimension. The same world as this, but instead of being on BBC One, they're on BBC Two. Just because we can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. Just like you change your television station from BBC One to BBC Two, doesn't mean BBC One disappeared because they're broadcasting all the time. So there's there's lots of theories that you can put around there. But the important thing is, it's the paranormal world that's important to us, not us. The theory goes out there too that the operator is important, and there is where things get a little bit iffy. Like people saying, oh, you're a magnet for the spirit world, a spirit magnet. We can think of one or two people there, like Steve Huff. But it is important not to get a big head about it. People, like our viewers, if they have a spirit box and they do sessions, work with the radio, can build that connection. If that connection is true, and we believe in that connection, because sometimes I remember back when I first hacked radio was a PSP 11, and for 3 solid weeks I done a spirit box session every day with all that noise and got absolutely nothing. And it was at the point where I was about to give up on this when I got my first contact. It took 3 weeks. I don't know why. Possibly is connection important. It's a possibility. But that is basically, just wanted to talk about that this morning. I'll probably do a little session after I finish this video. I'll probably do a little session on this. So, just keep an eye out for that. But that's something I wanted to share. Very, very grateful that views came in on some of those radios, some of those sessions. It was just very interesting that the views weren't as much for the PSP7, but as some of you have already seen, the PSP7 can be a quiet box, can deliver. It can deliver. It's got its shortcomings. It's not got a great speaker, but the quality is not great for £80, but it works. It was designed to be a spurt box, so it's got its scan rate. It's got its little scan rate and it's nice and small. It is nice and small and handy, but the thing is, you have to carry a powerful speaker to operate that magnitude mode, and but it does work, but it sort of isn't as popular anymore, because we had an influx of a lot of PSP7s where they were the biggest thing, and there was no magnitude mode, and we had to listen to all that static, and that was part of the spurt box session. But when you have a lot of static, sometimes some of us get headaches. We have to sort of pause the video, take breaks and stuff like that. If there is a noisy spurt box, you can do that. But we're going to do a session on the next video of with using the RTC box, which looks like a Joe's box, and it's from Rob Hernandez. I've done a couple of sessions with this already. It's got a little antenna that you can you detach, and I have a little, it's a pouch from BMW, and it's got a little pouch inside it where I put the antenna in, and then I put the little put the spurt box into the main part of the pouch, so that the antenna isn't scraping off the side of the spurt box. But I'm going to leave that for now, because I've been talking for 20 minutes here. But I will do a little session with this and see how it goes. I just wanted to say thanks for viewing those videos. It's a first time I got a spurt box session over 1,000 views, and because the spurt box sessions are the least viewed videos on my channel. Now, if I was a YouTuber, I would say, right, I need to stop doing spurt box sessions and do other things. But I'm not a YouTuber, am I? I'm not a YouTuber. I got up this morning. The other day, got about 50 or so views on a spurt box session on the PSP7. I got 47 or 50 views on a video. And what I done was I sat down and I set up for another spurt box session. If I was a YouTuber, I would say, that's not so good. I need to get the numbers bigger than that. I need to get them shared out. Blah 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 blah. I like doing my ITC, and I'm going to continue doing it. Numbers are not important to me, but at the same time, I'm very grateful for them. But yeah, but I have another spurt box coming, and it's similar to the 12-469. It's the 12-469 470. It's like the 469 with an actual speaker on it. So that's coming from the United States. So that should come pretty soon. But keep an eye out. I'm going to do a session right after this video. I'm going to do a session on Rob Hernandez little spirit box. I'll leave a link in the description of the guy's channel. He does spirit box. He makes spirit boxes in the United States and that. You know, it's a pretty good little product. You know, there's good box builders out there. There's ones that don't handle their business very well. I've dealt with 2 of them last year. Rob, nice product, good little product. I'm going to do a session with that next, so just keep an eye out for that. Folks, I'm going to go. I'm going to have a fresh cup of coffee. I'm going to start this session, so I'll see you in the next video.